Hello there, welcome. Hope you're having a great day so far. Today we are taking a look at Judges chapter 16. So if you haven't already had a chance to read through that chapter, do so. We are continuing to talk about Samson today, and Samson continues to just not be on the best behavior. Samson visits Gaza and spends the night with a prostitute. The men of Gaza were going to wait at the town gates to kill him. They had heard about his strength. They knew he was with this prostitute. They thought, we'll wait all night and we'll kill him when he leaves. But listen what happens in verse 3. It says, "But Samson stayed in bed only until midnight. Then he got up, took hold of the doors of the town gate, including the two posts, lifted them up, bar and all. He put them on his shoulders and carried them all the way to the top of the hill across from Hebron." So he kind of busted up their plans there. Later, Samson falls in love with a lady named Delilah. We see him talking about this in chapter 5. Or we see the Philistine leaders talking about this. They know that Samson is in love with this lady named Delilah. So the rulers of the Philistines went to her and said, "Entice Samson to tell you what makes him so strong and how he can be overpowered and tied up securely. Then each of us will give you 1,100 pieces of silver." So they want her to find out where his strength comes from. So she does this. She goes to him several times and asks him, and he tricks her. He tells her different things that would take his strength away. She tries those things. It doesn't work. She, I'm sure, bats her eyelashes and asks him one final time, and he tells her, "Okay, here's the deal. I can't cut my hair. Cutting my hair will take away my strength." So Delilah lulls him to sleep and cuts his hair. And sure enough, his strength goes away. In verse 17, it tells us, "Finally, Samson shared his secret with her. 'My hair has never been cut,' he confessed, 'for I was dedicated to God as a Nazirite from birth. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave, and I would become as weak as anyone else.'" So after she cuts his hair, the Philistines do capture him, and it's horrible. They actually gouge his eyes out, and they take him to Gaza, where he is bound with bronze chains, and he's forced to grind grain in the prison. So things aren't going well for poor Samson. His eyes have been gouged out. He's forced to just grind grain all day in this prison. Later, the Philistine leaders had a big party, and they wanted to show off what they had done to this strong man, Samson. Samson has had it, and he prays to God one final time, and he says, "If you would please just restore my strength one more time." And his hair actually had started to grow back. Well, what happens next is this. God restores his strength. The Philistines are having this party in a temple where they are worshiping their god, which is called, I think, Dagon. And Samson gets his strength back, and he pushes two pillars of the temple aside, and the entire temple falls. It kills Samson and everyone in it. And it was like 3,000 people that it actually killed. So I want to share a footnote. It says, "In spite of Samson's past, God still answered his prayer and destroyed the pagan temple and its worshipers." We know God hates the worship of things besides him. God still loved him. He was willing to hear Samson's prayer of confession and repentance and use him this final time. And what is interesting is Samson killed more people in this last thing where the roof fell than he did in his entire lifetime. One of the effects of sin in our lives is to keep us from feeling like praying. Have you ever been that way? Have you ever just been mad or distraught or just not in a good headspace and you just don't want to pray. But being perfect is not a condition for prayer. Don't let guilty feelings over sin keep you from your only means of restoration. No matter how long you have been away from God, He is ready to hear from you and restore you to a right relationship with Him. So just a word for someone today who may be feeling like, you're in a position where you couldn't go back to God again. And that's just not true. We are never in a position where we cannot go back to God. He is there waiting with open arms anytime we're ready. So thank you guys so much for watching today. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.